Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video episode on the Forgotten Weapons Library. I'm Ian, and today we're taking a look at another book on Japanese firearms, this time handguns. We have a copy here of Japanese Military Cartridge Firearms, 1893 to 1945. This was written by Harry Derby III and James Brown. Probably not the same James Brown. And in a word, this is the one go-to book on Japanese handguns. It starts at the very beginning with the Type 26 revolver, and it goes all the way through to the end of World War II. Obviously it covers the two main guns that everyone's pretty well familiar with, the Type 14 Nambu and the Type 94 Nambu, the one that looks kind of like the Luger and the one that just looks ugly. But this also covers experimental guns, developmental guns, and a whole bunch of very low production, very rare, unusual Japanese firearms. So let's take a closer look inside. Really, this is a book that you need to see to appreciate. So the cover photo here gives you a pretty good idea of what you're getting into in this book, with a baby Nambu and a Papa Nambu and a stocked Nambu. Let's see. So the first chapter in here, as I mentioned, is the Type 26 revolver. It's an interesting conglomeration of different design elements and some native Japanese stuff. Not a lot of information out there on these. Next up is one of the coolest pistols in the whole book, which is the Hino. This was a blow-forward design of Japanese, a blow-forward pistol of Japanese design. Very, very cool, neat gun, very creative. And again, this particular chapter in this book is by far the best source of information pretty much anywhere on this particular gun. After the Hino, we get into the Nambu series of pistols, starting with the Grandpa. That's obviously our Americanized names for them. Grandpa was the oldest, then the Papa, and then the regular Nambu. The baby Nambu, which we'll get to in a minute, was a compact version intended for officers. Among the cool glossy photos and the detailed historical information, this book includes a lot of tabulated information like this. This is looking specifically at Papa Nambus, the different varieties of them, and their characteristics. So excellent information for collectors. Here we go, there's the baby Nambu. Where most of Japan's pistols were in 8mm Nambu, the baby here was in 7mm. Now here's, you're never going to see information on this sort of thing. This is an experimental 15-shot high-capacity Nambu automatic developed prior to the Type 14. So we've got some information on that. Disassembled version, magazines compared to a regular Nambu magazine. Now we're getting into the regular Type 14. This is one of the mainstays of Japanese pistols during World War II. Here, for example, is another good example of what you'll find throughout the book. The four different iterations of the design, each stripped down and laid out so that you can see all the differences. Same thing with magazines. Let's see, moving on. Holsters are covered. A lot of Japanese holsters are relatively similar, but this does have, for example, some sections on identifying reproductions versus authentic originals, which is helpful. Here we have the Type 94, the ugly Nambu, and just another example of this sort of comparative photography, looking at the five different iterations of this design as it went through time. It's an experimental version of the Type 94, kind of cool there. Now, after we're done with the line of Nambu pistols, we get into some small production unusual guns. The Hamada is one. A lot of these pistols weren't particularly innovative mechanically, but they're very rare, and that of course makes them interesting all by itself. Hamada. We have the Inagaki Shiki. A humpback looking pistol there. North China Type 19, which is a Chinese-made, basically copy of the Nambu Type 14. Here we have the Sugiura Shiki. I may have mangled that pronunciation. Very close to a copy of one of Browning's pistols. And then, of course, a chapter on foreign procured pistols. Japanese officers were able to buy foreign-made pistols if they wanted to. So, all sorts of stuff. Lugers, Rubies, Brownings, you name it. Less Senti there. Small chapter on ammunition at the end. Of course, important to know something about the ammo that all these pistols fired. And then the last chapter is actually a surprisingly substantial one on flare pistols, which the Japanese had quite a few different models of, including some neat stuff like this triple-barreled one. And the appendices at the back include quite a bit of tabulated data. They can definitely come in handy. All right, so as you can see, it's a gorgeous book inside, a lot of glossy color photos. It's about 370 pages long, and really there is no better resource for this subject. If Japanese pistols are your thing, you probably already have this book, and if you don't, you really need to get a copy of it. It is still in print, so it is still available. Price on it is around $65, which is not bad for the quality of the publishing and the quality of the information and the size of the book that you're getting. So definitely something that needs to be in any Japanese collector's collection. Definitely something that needs to be in the library of any serious handgun or Japanese weapons collector. And just a cool book to look through for everyone else too. Japan did a lot of native firearms design with elements of things that you don't always see in other places. So it's a good way to broaden your horizons. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys, and tune back into ForgottenWeapons.com for more book reviews.